Over the last 7 years, we've scaled our agency to over $200,000 a month. We've helped hundreds of agency owners break free from the day-to-day operations and become a true CEO inside of their agency. In this video, I'm going to be distilling 7 years of no BS advice that you can implement inside of your agency so that you can do the same. This is a picture of our first studio. We got it about a year in business and we were so proud of this. Then this is our team in our bigger studio, our newest studio. We literally doubled our square footage. And then this is me with a couple of Telly Awards that we won, which was dope. Another shot of the studio, some financial proof, and then of course how these systems that I'm going to teach today are actually helping other agencies, so that this isn't just me throwing a bunch of concepts to you. This is helping hundreds of agencies that we've taught inside of Agency U. And I have 7 points that I'm going to go through. I'm going to be just really straight to the point. I'm going to give actionable advice for each thing so that you can actually get a takeaway. And first thing is we need to stop saying yes to everything. I was the guy who would say yes to everything because I had this fear of missing out, fear of making the client unhappy, fear of the client going somewhere else because I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity. But the problem is one, that caused me to create a job for myself because I was basically a glorified employee for a bunch of different companies when I was first starting out. If you want to build an agency and scale, the problem is you're always going to be the bottleneck if you're saying yes to everything. And as we started to scale and we took on more work than the hours that we had in the day to actually execute on the work, that's when we started to realize, oh crap, we are in trouble essentially, because it's unrealistic if you're saying yes to 10 different services to be able to properly fulfill 10 different services if you run out of hours in the day, or if you do want to scale and hire a team. Like, it's going to be really challenging to go out and spend a bunch of time finding people to help with all the things that you're saying yes to. So we were in this conundrum and we're like, okay, crap, how do we get out of this saying yes to everything? How do I do it? And that's where we really just dialed in our offer. But I want to really echo the yes point visually. Let's just say you're really skilled in videography and client says, hey, can you do email for me? Can you do SEO? What our intuition as agencies, as growing motivated owners is, yeah, for sure we can do it. We want to say yes to this. We're motivated and we want to grind, and that's the sake of what we actually want to do. Problem is if you start saying yes to everything, firstly, you're going to confuse the masses. So what is your marketing message? If you're just a yes man, you're always going to be trapped in being an employee type of mindset. So you're going to be confusing to all of the people that you serve and the future people that you serve, because they're like, what do you even do? The other trap is you're going to be the bottleneck. So if you're doing email, SEO, XYZ service, let's call it, but really you're talented, let's call it, in video and running ads for the clients, and you start saying yes to all these things, who's going to be responsible for getting this done? How much longer is it going to take you to figure out how to do SEO, how to do this new service that you just said yes to, this email, this custom package that this client wants? How many more hours is that going to add to your day? We need to be the solution for our customers, not the commodity. And that's what a lot of agencies are like when they say yes to everything. They're positioned as a vitamin, I don't really need it, but if I think about it, if it's nice to have, yeah, I'll do it. We want to be the solution. We want to be the medicine for our customers. Obviously, there's some things that you could say yes to, if it's a whale client coming to you and they want a custom video and you're a videographer, yeah, say yes to that. Or if you're just starting off and you have $0 in your pocket and somebody's asking you to do something, yeah, say yes. But that is not a long-term solution for your agency, and it should not be how your agency is founded or structured, or the foundation of what your business is actually run through. So the second thing is we need to productize our offer. If I were to go back and talk to my younger agency self, first thing that I would really dial in is my offer. The solution to saying yes to everything is to productize our offer and to have an irresistible offer for our clients, essentially. I'm just going to break down what does it even mean to have a productized offer? So the first thing is really the who. Who is it that we can help? If you're watching this and you're just starting off, the who should be almost anybody with a pulse, depending on your offer. But I'm very much of the notion of, if we're just beginning to get this agency off the ground, we should not pigeonhole ourselves into a specific niche right now. If you're more of an experienced agency and you have a really killer offer, or you've been working with, let's call it, real estate agents for a really long time, that's going to be your niche because you have the expertise and you have the authority in that. For this example, let's just say service-based businesses doing more than $30,000 a month. Then what we want to figure out is what are the pain points of the customers that we're serving. So let's just say for the service-based businesses, they're struggling to get more business, struggling to get more leads, struggling to become more known. And then what we want to figure out is what is the outcome that they want. And likely it's the opposite of the pain point. What a lot of people do is they go to the customer and they say, hey, John, what is it you need? Oh, you need some videos? And then what happens is the agency says, yeah, I can do a video for you. And then the problem is is that they do the video and they just take an order for the client and it's pretty much one and done and like we're good to go. We need to position our agency and our offer as the authority when it comes to the business. We should have the upper hand when it comes to our client because we're the experts. They should want what we have. They should see our marketing, our message, and they should be like, wow, that is the medicine to my pain points. I need what you have so that I can get to my outcomes. And this makes your life so much easier because you're simplifying basically your business. All we have to do is we need to figure out customers are here. They want to get here. How do I get them from where they are to where they want to go? The reality is there's probably a bazillion different things that you could do. All we want to figure out is what is the easiest and simplest way based off of your expertise that I can get my customers from where they are to where they want to go. If we follow these steps, then they will get to the outcome that they want. We're going to increase the likelihood of the outcome for our customers and for our agency. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to be confident in what you're selling and actually getting your clients results. Now, from a productized offer perspective, all we have to do is take these steps. Who's going to do each part of the process? This is the SOP on how you do that. And boom, now you have a productized offer that's repeatable, it's delegatable, it's scalable because you can hire people, and it gets your clients to the outcome. So that is how you really productize the offer. Super important point. Probably the most important point of the 7 that we're going to cover. Next thing is we need to do predictable lead gen. So when I was first starting my agency and the hundreds of agencies that we talked to, it was really based off of who I know. That's where we were able to quickly scale. It was just word of mouth in our network. But the problem is I became the bottleneck because everything was coming from me. Everything relied on me from like a sales perspective. And the other problem is that our lead gen, once we started to grow, started to do this: up, down, 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 because we didn't have a repeatable way to actually get clients. We need a predictable way to get clients so that we no longer have to rely on these unreliable sources. And what that means is we need to be marketers. There's so many times where I talk to agencies and they have these couple of referrals coming in and they bank on getting these referrals and closing those referrals and they don't end up closing them. And then they're like, oh my gosh, my pipeline is now dry. Perfect. What have you been doing to predictably get new clients? What have you been doing to build your leads? Your business's greatest asset, or like the way to avoid up and down, is leads. Like leads should never be a problem. Like an abundance of leads is only going to be a net positive in your business. So if you can predictably create a channel to get leads without relying on word of mouth, you can use your offer to market the pain and the outcome to drive in your ideal customers so that you keep a full pipeline and you get referrals and word of mouth. Boom, that is the 1-2 punch on how you can do that. What we teach a lot is the authority funnel. Basically, the way to predictably get leads in the easiest way possible is to create content for your agency and run ads. And the ad will be speaking to the pain point and to the outcomes of your customers so that they take action on it. Content will nurture it, will scale trust. Ads will give them the right hook, make an action. But if you don't know the pain points, if you don't know the outcomes, if you don't have a productized offer, if you don't know who, if you don't know the DNA of the customers and the pain that they're going through and the outcomes that they're desiring, your ads aren't going to be effective. So this will be a series of testing and making sure that you win the first thing every time. Like this is something that we teach a lot, is like the copywriting. We have a ton of different copy frameworks that we teach people, a ton of different copy that we go through for our clients so that they can actually predictably get leads. Lesson number 4 is going to be building repeatable systems. One of the best quotes that I've heard from a business perspective is, systems run the business and people run the systems. So knowing this, what we need to realize is I need systems that people could eventually run. When we first started, it was Google Docs, it was Google Drive, it was iMessaging each other, it was sending emails back and forth, checking on projects. Problem is there's no accountability, there's no tracking anything. I had zero infrastructure on how to actually fulfill for my customers, and it was a complete mess operationally, and I was stressed out. What we need to do is we need to build what we call an agency OS, which is like your agency infrastructure. This is something that we built out for all the agencies inside of Agency U, so when they join, they literally get an agency operating system that they can duplicate inside of their business and start to build systems as a result, and we'll actually build it for them. When it comes to systems, there's really a few systems that we need. First one is going to be an onboarding system. So how do we onboard clients? The moment a client says yes is the moment they have buyer's remorse. What we want to do is we want to reiterate their buying decision by speed and quickness. So onboarding system, we want a lead gen system. So how are we getting leads? How are we tracking leads? How are we booking appointments? All that sort of stuff. We want a sales system. What's the process of getting our clients from they booked a call to actually closing a deal? What's the follow-up system? We need a fulfillment system. When you get a new client, how do you track everything that you need to get done? How do you keep track of everything and hold people accountable and set your team up for success? And then Lastly would be like a hiring system, essentially. So these are the 5 systems that I think would be really relevant for us to actually learn and build inside of our agency. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this is super overwhelming. How do I even begin to start to build systems? I have no idea how to even build systems. The reason you're probably thinking that way is because you're probably saying yes to everything. If you follow what I'm teaching you and you focus on productizing your offer, we created steps to outcome. So all we have to do is we need to create SOPs for these steps to desired outcome as it pertains to fulfillment. Who's doing what? We use a project management system like Notion so that we can assign tasks to people and we can templatize it based off of our offer. Almost think about this as like a fulfillment funnel. How do I funnel my clients from they're just starting with us to we're getting them to the outcome? So this is the same thing with the onboarding as well. This all is in relation to if we can productize our offer, if we can dial in our offer, if we can have really clear steps from onboarding to results for our clients, and this is maybe a repeatable thing where this is like a 3-month offer or a 5-month offer or whatever it could be. How do we build systems? Oh, perfect. We create SOPs and we create a process for each person so that they can then follow it and then use a project management system like Notion so that you can actually assign tasks. And because it's going to be repeatable, we can use the same standard operating procedure. Oh my gosh. Lead gen system, we have the ads. And from a messaging perspective, it all goes back to our offer, the outcomes and the pain points that we're talking about. The sales system, what does that go back to? The offer. What are we communicating? What is our sales framework? What's the pre-call process? What's the call process? What's the post-call process? We can focus on our onboarding, our lead gen system, our sales system, our fulfillment system, our hiring system. Then this is only going to set you up for success in the long run. The systems will only work if you have an offer that is systematized, that's productized. I always think about people like In-N-Out, McDonald's, etc. How do you think they're able to hammer out so many hamburgers? Because they have a system. And all they're doing is they're teaching the people that they hire to do the system so that they can be efficient with it. We need to think like these big businesses and like need to think, okay, cool, what are they doing? Okay, they're productizing everything inside of their business so that they can then scale it because they're trying to make it as simple as possible to fulfill. Which leads me to my next point, which is delegate, delegate, delegate. 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. A lot of people, myself included, when I first started delegating, I was like, oh yeah, can you just like do this, 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 do this? And I'd like verbalize it to them. I would get the work that I asked them to do back and I'd be like, this is not what I wanted. The problem wasn't delegating like a CEO. I was delegating like an employee. When I think of delegating, what we're going to do first is we're going to define what is that person doing? What are the roles that they're going to be responsible for? They're going to onboard clients, let's call it that. What are the responsibilities of this person? And then what are the KPIs? We call them smart expectations. So if I look at my offer and I'm like, okay, cool, John can do this, John can do this, John can do this, John can do this. Perfect. Let me lay out exactly what that means. Like this is the role, these are the responsibilities for that specific role, and these are the KPIs, meaning this is what they're going to be measured on. Where a lot of leaders fail is they don't set expectations with their team. What ends up happening is they hire somebody, they verbalize something to them, they give them KPIs, I guess more so they give them responsibilities with no KPIs, ambiguous KPIs. They set somebody up to fail. It's like if I were to get a job right now, I'd want to know, okay, cool, what are my expectations? What are the KPIs that I need to hit every single day? We need to do that. We need to think like CEOs. We need to basically be what I call a CEO, which is Chief Expectation Officer. Your job when you delegate is just a series of expectation setting, and you're constantly reiterating the expectations to the person that you're delegating to so that they are set up for success. The other role, which is a Chief CTP, let's call it, which is a Chief Tool Provider. So it's one thing to set expectations, but your other role as a CEO is to equip the person to actually succeed. And if you don't have repeatable systems, if you don't have expectations, if you're not building tools to make your team members' life easier, you are setting them up to fail. The more tools that we can provide for the person, the more systems that we can build for them, the more they're going to be set up for success, and the more they're going to be efficient, and you're going to be more profitable, and the team's going to be happy, and they're going to be winning. This is key to actually delegating effectively, delegating like a CEO. Point number 6 is going to be tracking results, not outputs. Okay, when I first started my agency, I was basically priding myself was like deliverables. But what happened as a result of it was the clients started to think to themselves, am I getting results from this? So like we do a lot of content for companies. And they think, is this actually providing a result? And then what happens? Economy goes down. They have a bad month inside of their business and they say, I want to cancel because I don't see ROI. Because basically what we're priding ourselves on is the amount of deliverables. Our issue was that we were so heavy on the quantity of deliverables. And the problem is it became super complex. Like it was confusing for our team. It was like overwhelming for them. And it was ultimately frustrating because it was hard to actually tie it to the result that our clients wanted. So it was a net negative for the team. It was a net negative for the client. Clients wanted to cancel. We lost revenue. It's hard for us to justify, hard for us to sell. What we started implementing was not just deliverables for our clients, but creating an offer that actually drives a result. If you're a content agency and you're just creating content, you're just posting for the client, that is a race to the bottom. Our offer is not just an output where it's a race to the bottom, commodity, nice to have. What we 110% need to focus our skills and expertise on is how do I get my clients results? Because at the end of the day, if someone's hiring us to do video for them, yeah, they want video, but the root of it is what? Oh, I want to like build my brand. Why? Oh, just so more people see me. Why? So that we can get more business. We want to get more business. Videos are going to be one point of it, but what we also need to do is run this ad and predictably get you clients. So that's like an example of a conversation that I hear quite a bit. And really last but not least is you need to become a leader. Probably the most valuable skill set as I was transferring from being a freelancer to an actual CEO was learning leadership. And how I learned leadership was one, hiring a mentor who was a leader and I believed in as a leader. Two, learning from others. Listen to a lot of podcasts. Like I really like John Maxwell's theories. I like Ed Milet. Jocko Willink is somebody that we listen to a lot and I learned from a lot in applying that. And then lastly was to lead myself. From my perspective, like I would say I was stone hard, like entrepreneur, just a grinder, like let's just do it. I was really good at my job, but I lacked the leadership, empathy, how to speak to people, how to actually influence people. And it's not how hard you work, how much you grind. It's leadership skills that you need to learn that apply once you become an actual CEO inside of your business and can actually apply what you're learning in leadership. I think one of the best signs of like building your leadership is the ability to create other leaders. I'll give you two stories. One, Mark came to me, literally quit his corporate job and was like let's scale Braintegic, like I'm down. 4 years later, CEO of the company. Peter came to us as a freelance videographer. And what he did was basically he not only grew professionally, but he also grew personally as a leader. 3 years later, he's the creative director at Braintegic. This is a result of me being able to see in them that there's gold in them and me being able to pull that from them. What I really focused on was like having to be, this is the mission, this is the group. I want you to build and become a leader inside of the organization. And eventually, Peter, like, yeah, you're a freelance right now and we're going to bring you on, but eventually you're going to be full-time. Eventually you're going to oversee the editors. Eventually you're going to hire more videographers underneath of you. He caught that vision and he thought to himself, wow, I could do this and this sounds really interesting to me. I want to pursue this. This is getting me fired up. There's been many cases where the opposites happen. I'm going to cast a vision on this person, not competent, don't have capacity, don't have the character to do it. They're going to be transitioned out. What we're doing as leaders is we're casting the vision and we're seeing gold in other people and we're creating other leaders, and it's up to the person to step up into the role that they see for themselves, that we see for them inside of the company. And if they can do that, if we can multiply them, if we can disciple them up, then that is a sign of a good leader. Some good books: Extreme Ownership by Jocko, Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko, anything by John Maxwell. Those are the books that I read as it pertains to leadership. Hopefully you guys got a lot from this, stuff that's actionable inside of your agency. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're an agency owner and any of these struck a chord with you and you're feeling a little bit lost or a little bit stuck and you want to become a true CEO inside of your agency and have these systems built out for you, just click the link down below inside of the description. You can book a call with our team and learn more about how we can help install this stuff for you. And we can work one-to-one. I'd love to meet you. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching and we'll see you on the next one.